to the last part of the Unit 3 on corporate social responsibilities. Okay, so now we will introduce the ethic-supported and the law-regulated CSR. Okay, what are the contents of the ethics-supported as well as law-regulated CSR, right? Okay, so we want to introduce the initiations, ethic on the one hand and legal on the other hand. Okay, right. So human being is facing challenges in the environmental and social realities, such as global warming, extinction of species, lack of clean water, etc. So how can we address these issues and ensure the economic development to benefit the greatest number of people faced with these challenges? How can we make desired growth and development sustainable? Practice and effective developmental approaches become necessary, and it requires the commitments of all international organizations, governance, associations, companies, as well as the citizens, as we have just said in the last units, that we cannot just rely on the business sector to responsible for the CSR. Okay, so these are the initiations. Okay, but then we also have to go back to see in concrete terms what company can do. Okay, how can we ask companies to be abided by the CSR, not only just the law, the regulation, but also the ethic expectations. Okay, so as to what to do, here is some expectation or some suggestion. Okay, a company can ensure that its economic growth is beneficial to stakeholders, including its suppliers, employees, customers, the local population, while minimizing its impacts on the planets. Okay, so now we give you an example of the pharmaceutical company. Okay, and the company can act responsibly in many ways, including to offer safe and quality medicines or to support the needed patients throughout their health care, including, number one, taking care of its employees and ensuring their safety at work. Number two, being compliant with the application of the various laws and regulations, as well as defining ethical business practices. Okay. Number three, to reduce the environment impacts of its production sites, and then make less polluting modes of transport. Okay, so this is the only the one of the example, okay, that a company may do. All right, so if you have other kinds of companies, okay, you can also consider what you can do, okay, to make profits on the one hand, to give it back to the society on the other, but jointly you have to minimize your impacts on the planet. Okay, that is a very important thing to bear in mind. All right, okay, so the overall goal of the CSR is to combine economic progress, social justice, and environmental preservation. Okay, so the ambition for a responsible company is to contribute to an economically efficient, socially equitable, and environmentally sustainable development, while ensuring its profitability and economic growth. Okay, so we are not talking about, oh, CSR, and you should forget your profit making. No, profit making still stay, and it is very essential to a company, okay? But on the other hand, we need you not just only to make economically efficient production, but also you have to commit yourself to socially equitable programs, and then you have to make environmentally sustainable development, okay? So as such, the CSR is now recognized as a real performance driver, particularly because it encourages innovation, reduces the costs, and brings employees together around a meaningful project, okay? And so the CSR will affect their daily activities, both individually and collectively, okay? So the ethical plus legal goal is for the business to work together, okay, with the stakeholders, with the communities, to make the globe better place to stay with, okay? So here, okay, that can make it, the best for us to understand the goal of the CSR is what everyone is concerned, okay? So even if we are talking about the responsibilities of the company, but everyone is concerned, okay? And everyone is concerned, and that's why we need to be working together, hand in hand, all right? But then, now we go back to our main concern for ethics versus law, okay? So does ethics work together with law, or does law regulate ethics, or does ethics actually promote law, or does law enforcement only make ethics possible, all right? So how ethics and law will work under CSR. So let's go back to the 1930s, okay? In the 1930s, there were famous debates between the two law professors. And these two professors, okay, you can see their pictures there, okay? Number one is Professor Burley, and the other one is Professor Dodd, okay? And the most famous writing of Professor Dodd will be "From whom are corporate managers trustees," all right? And on the other hand, Professor Burley, he wrote "The Modern Corporation and Private Property," all right? And then with these two very, very famous articles, they, debates, they had a very famous debates between the two, okay? And Burley, he believed that there had to be legally enforceable rules in favor of labor, customers, and public equal to or ahead of stakeholders, okay? But Dodd, he argues that powers of directors were simply held on trust and service to the community is the primary purpose of the existence of managers, okay? As Dodd said, business is permitted and encouraged by law because it is of service to the community, then because it is a source of profits to its owners, okay? So these two, one Dodd, he believes that, business is permitted and encouraged by law, okay? So we need to use law, okay? We cannot just trust the managers, okay? But Burley, he thinks that, we have to have these legally enforceable rules, okay, for these managers to bear in mind so that, the business, they will work on CSR, okay? So which side are you in, okay? Actually, their arguments are kind of overlapping, okay? Just that whether you believe in the managers, okay, to do CSR. Do you think that we need real law, okay, to force the managers, okay, to do CSR? Or do you think that all the managers, they would like to do CSR, but just that, they also need law, at their hands, okay, so that they can promote CSR, all right? So everyone is concerned. Next, should we do? Okay, we should know that the overall goal of CSR is to combine economic progress, social justice, and environmental preservation. Okay, so there are several things that we have to go back to and recall what we have learned. Okay, to do CSR, on the one hand, we want profits. On the other hand, we want the business to have some ethical considerations all the time. Okay, so now we go back to the scope or the very important items that we have to do for the CSR. Okay, here we saw it before. Do you remember them? Number one, we need to do environmental management. We need to make all the project eco-efficiency. We need to get responsible sourcing, okay? And we need to have some regulations to protect the laborers and to reach the labor standards and conditions. And we also need to employ some good methods to have community relationship, okay? And we need to reach social equity and gender balance and protecting human rights, okay? And so back to the company, we need stakeholder engagement. We need to make good governance, and of course, many business now, they put a lot of emphasis on anti-corruption measures, okay? So if we remember all these, then we can maintain the CSR sustainabilities, okay? And here we put some, keywords for you to look back to, okay? Do you remember, okay, when you are a member of the business, or if you are a member of the NGO or the community, all these keywords come into our minds every day, okay, and come between our relationship every day. So how can you handle ethics together with law and then reach CSR and then reach sustainability, to look forward to development, and then to protect the justice of everybody, and then we can go into the society, make good partnership, to trust each other, to reach growth and health and education, prosperity for everybody all together, to look at the SDGs, to get equity or equality between all of us, okay, and to reach responsible consumptions between us, okay. So finally, we can protect all kinds of human rights, to reach order in the society and to reach peace in the world, okay. So all these keywords concerning corporate social responsibility, we have to bear in mind, and also we have to put it into force, okay, and trying to put it in our daily relationship in not just the corporate itself, but also the society, okay, so that we can reach the goal of corporate social responsibility, all right? So here, I just put it some strategic CSR principles for your reference, okay? Like we have to cultivate needed talent, we have to develop new markets, we have to protect labor welfare, we have to reduce our environment footprint, we have to profit from the byproducts, we have to involve customers, and then we have to make the globe green, okay? So how many have you committed yourself if you are part of the business, okay? So finally, this very prosperous CSR would just give us profits together with growth, and then we can love the society, the community will benefit together, all together for the environmental goods. And then if we can follow the United Nations goals for sustainability, and so then the globe will be better and better off for our mutual good. Thank you very much for your listening.